I've been working on this project I called Snippets. The goal is to create a collection of useful Zig snippets that are tested across multiple Zig versions to know if the current snippet you are looking at actually works for the specific version of Zig you are using. You know, because Zig is still pretty unstable from version to version, you will find a lot of Zig resources that are actually outdated. So if you try some code snippet, there's a high probability that it will not work. So that's why I created Snippets, so that we have a website with a collection of code snippets. And for each snippet, you will see the version of Zig that actually works. So for example, this is the old way to use the array list, and it doesn't work for 0.15.2. And I also made a page for each versions, so you know which code snippet works and the one that doesn't work. And if I want to see the new way to use an array list, I can just look at this code snippet. All right. So all of these pages are automatically generated and minified. So it's really bare bone. I really put only the minimum. So this is really more a proof of concept than a solid and reliable project. But let me tell you how it works really quickly. So I have this program, the main.zig, that gets the different Zig versions by passing this JSON file. It gets the nightly dev build and also the stable releases. But I only take the stable releases until 0.13.0 because I think we probably don't need to go back too far in time. Well, actually, it doesn't really work this way. The oldest version is really going to be this one. But if some of you actually use an older version of this, I can change it. Just tell me in the comment and I can do that. All right, once we have the Zig versions we need, the program will look inside this snippets directory where you can find all the snippets. Each of these snippets are actually inside a test. And so for all Zig versions and all snippets, I run Zig test in a new process. And if the test compiles and work, then the snippets is marked as successful and otherwise as failing. And when I'm done with all the tests, I generate the HTML files. I also store some information inside versions. I store the Zig versions that have already been tested, and inside snippets, I have the list of the snippets that have been tested and their results. And once all of that is done, I commit and push everything so that it gets deployed to GitHub pages. So I've set up a VPS to automatically build and run the script every day so that new snippets that are added along the way get actually tested, and if there's new versions, the new versions are also tested. But there's two things I need to clarify. One is inside this file, I only store the latest master build because otherwise we would have like a gazillion versions and that would not be sustainable. But saying this, you may not be aware of it, but Zig actually moved from GitHub to ComputerBread, and since then there hasn't been new dev builds. So this is kind of the latest available Zig dev build. And I don't know if this is going to change, if they are going to restart making these like dev builds. I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen. Hopefully they will come back, and because it's actually pretty convenient. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that's about it. It's a website with a bunch of snippets, and you can see if they are still working for your version of Zig. And all of this is automatic. It's pretty bare bone. It doesn't really do much. It's still very limited, but it could probably evolve into something a little bit more sophisticated. But I think it's an interesting idea. And if you actually want to participate, if you want to add some code snippets, you can create an issue with the code and I will like create the snippets myself, or you can make a pull request and I will do it. But make sure that your snippet actually work for at least one version, that it stops. You know, if it doesn't stop, it's just infinite loop, well, it's going to break everything. There's some problem with side effects. I'm still not sure how to handle this. I should probably like run this inside a container or something. I don't know. Yeah, don't put some license on your code. Like if you want to share some code, but you don't actually want to share it, well, don't share it. Doesn't make any sense. There's not really a naming convention. Yeah, I'm not really settled about this, so I don't know. If you want to add some information to your code, just add some comments, really. And well, that's about it.